one of the things you may notice from the exterior shots is that the front suspension is definitely sat higher than the rear. The first modification I'm going to do on this car is going to be springs. So on the front we have got, that's 5.5 inches just about, isn't it? And on the rear, just over 4 inches. So that's a difference of 1.5 inches front to rear. That's just awful. And I think that's actually playing havoc with the mag ride. I think the rear thinks that it's heavily loaded up with stuff, so the mag ride is stiffening the rear suspension. So this is a box of springs that I actually started inquiring about before I'd even picked the car up. And then yeah, as soon as I had the car, I said, right, here's your money, send me the springs. Second hand, but they look like they've barely done anything whatsoever. So yeah, let's get these fitted, shall we? Folks, if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed, then please consider doing so. If you're subscribed and you want to be involved even further, then consider becoming a member to the channel, where you can have your say over what videos come next, and you can ask me detailed questions and I can give you detailed answers in the members only section. Oh, and one other thing I've got left over from the old track car, these 20mm spacers. So might as well sling those on with some studs and nuts which are in this bag. Why not? It's a race car. It really isn't a race car. I'm getting carried away. It's just going to be a fast daily car. That's all I want it for. And then obviously, yeah, the occasional track day and Nürburgring use. I'm going to talk you through the process of doing the suspension. So obviously we need to start by removing the wheel. And yeah, for safety, I'm going to put it underneath the sill just in case the axle stands decide to collapse or anything daft like that. And then there's just one main bolt here, 18mm bolt, and at the other side, so get that undone, and then using the trolley jack to support the lower arm so that I can remove that without it causing any issues, and then just slowly releasing the trolley jack to allow the old spring to come out. I must say, a lot easier on the Mark II than it is on the Mark I. And then yeah, just put the new spring in. There's a rubber cap at the bottom and the top. The one on the bottom has a nipple that I'm just trying to locate in this clip here. And once I'm happy it's sat correctly, I can get the bolt back through. Thank you for hitting subscribe, but now you got to make sure that the notifications are on, otherwise YouTube still won't tell you when I upload new content. And what's the point in that? The internal bush does move around a little bit, so you just got to wiggle in so you can get the right angle and get it all the way through. Put the nut on, and that's basically it. And doing the stud conversion, which does make putting the wheels on a lot easier. And then just putting the nuts on by hand, just to make sure they don't cross thread. And look, we've got a bit of poke because those 20mm spacers are a little bit ridiculous. We'll see if they catch, maybe they will, maybe they won't. Either way, they are a little bit ridiculous. And then just the comparison of the old and the new springs side by side there. Really not much difference in height. So without doing the fronts, the rear is now, yeah, 3mm lower. So 3mm to start off with, hopefully. Once it settles, it get a little bit lower. Once the front's done, a little bit lower. I don't want it too low anyway. But yeah, it looks cool with the spacers on, I must say. Nice bit of poke there. Oh yeah. At the front end, we just need to undo the main pinch bolt going through the hub that's holding the shock in place. And then we're going to remove the drop link as well, and the lower ball joint. Now this nut, a little bit tricky to get a nice angle with the spanner, but luckily for me, it decided to come quite loose, and I could actually just undo it with my fingers. It's not usually the case, but I got lucky. And then we just need to give it a few taps just to shock it, and that should allow the ball joint to come away from the hub. Trying to use a tool to pry it, but it was kind of in the way, so I had to just resort to just using brute force with my hands. A lot easier. You can just move it over like that, and that just allows the hub room to come down. Just undone the mag ride, and then yeah, like I say, spread the hub and tap it down. Right, so I'm trying to do the whole approach of just filming bits as I go, but I've broke my tripod. Yeah. So it's going to stop being voiceover stuff now, it's going to be handheld, talking to you as I go. Yeah, okay, apologies, there is a bit of building work going on, which is why I was trying to do a whole voiceover thing. Oh well, yeah, it'll do, I'm sure. This isn't a how-to after all. What I've realised at this point is I could have just carried on filming and not spoke and then just done this voiceover, but I did speak, so I'll let mechanic Bryn talk you through the rest of it.
Now I'm going to take the wiper arms off so I can take the scuttle off so that I can get to top mount fixings. And then the strut can come out and we can change that spring. Well, new spring's on. I don't know if there's been any damage caused by this being set too high. Yeah, don't know. Honestly don't know the inner workings of these. I've just got to put it on and hope for the best. Getting the strut back in, relatively simple. Jack underneath the whole system, spread the hub using, I mean this tool is great for Mark 1s. It's not quite right for Mark 2s, but I've made it work. It was DIY, so yeah. And it's back in properly. Bit of a difference in height between the two. Yeah. Ooh, that's much better. Let's face it, it was like here before. 1.5 inches. On the rear. Ooh. That's definitely lower than it was now. So I think the fronts need to settle. So that is me, happy boy for now. I think it's time to take it for a quick spin and see if it makes any difference. I hope it does. What was that? I wonder. Okay, so 20mm spaces are too wide. So if I put the stiffness on, maybe I'll get off the drive without scraping. No, that scrapes. Okay. This suspension, do you know what? I don't need coilovers. I was actually looking at the Bilstein B14s and 16s, you know, Black Friday is coming up. Gives you an idea as to when I was filming this, doesn't it? Black Friday's coming up and obviously there's always a deal to be had, and I was sort of eyeing things up and finding suppliers and things like that. But do you know what? I think this is going to be sweet. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit two corners that the road surface isn't the best, but I know the corners quite well, and you can take them at the speed limit without speeding, and you can really put a car through its paces, because there's a bit of weird camber as you come around the second one. Let's test this car properly. Oh, he's scraping. I don't think it's going to make it on the second one. Oh, it did. Okay. Oh, there it goes. So once this car is set up properly with the tracking, it'll be a dream to drive, but I'm not taking it for the tracking just yet, because there's one more job that needs doing before there's any point in doing that. And that's the clutch. Yeah, so there's a reason that you shouldn't buy the cheapest Audi TTS on eBay, and that is because you're probably going to be faced with a lot of problems. But in all honesty, I know that the standard manual clutch on these isn't much good once you start mapping them anyway, so I'd have probably had to do it once I got it mapped. So I'd rather know in advance and just do it, stick the TTRS clutch set in it, which is going to handle way more than I ever want to put through this, and yeah, should be good. So until the next time, I'll see you later. Cheers guys.